it feels so cold inside my heart tonight. Be my man is what she said. It's not just the wind that's moving around tonight, but quick and clean don't make it right.
Morning, Glenn.
Mate, how you going?
Good, buddy.
First time out for 3 weeks. We didn't get out last week because of the extreme heat and high fire danger.
Oh, shocking, wasn't it?
I called it off last Saturday, and then Ant called off the Saturday before. He had a similar problem. He had to go to a musical.
I'm a cultured man, Glenn, cultured man.
But everything's come together today. Cool weather. We got off to an early start. Old party boys going out again tonight.
Yeah.
Fortunately, he didn't have to go out today. Apparently, there's a Sunday session of Annie, so he'll be able to go and see that. Now, where we are, we're at a mine that started off in the 1861, and it was a syndicate of Danish men. So a syndicate of Danes. And they were here, the mine itself, for nearly 50 years. And it started off small and turned out to be a great big mine. But the beauty of this area is, leading up to that starting, they worked the gullies, and there's a few little huts. I've given it a good scout around. I've got a bit of specimen here before. Not so much surface gold, and I think the problem is, because they were here so long, a lot of the original ground is buried, so it's hard to get on the original ground. But there are heaps and heaps of signals, so it's a good spot to start, because we'll be unlucky if we don't round up a relic. Something, yeah. There's plenty of, see these dumps here, this is an early dump of waste stone. So you can but you can detect a little specimen off that. I think that's a bit of modern day glass. But see the likes of that stone there, they've brought it out. It's got a little line of quartz running through it. There's another one. That's mainly waste stone, but you can still get a specimen off it. These are the early dumps, and they run down there. You can see how that one runs down on the angle and forms the triangle, which tells us that the first shaft was in there. But these would be shafts with just a windlass. They wouldn't have a big poppet head. But there's a huge mine, or was a huge mine in there. And when we get in there, I'll show you a great big mining dump. You know, you'll be surprised how big it is. Further across is sort of the yard where they brought all their stone up. We've had a crusher, we've got where they lived, we've got little huts where they obviously miners lived before this mine started, because there's so much gold in the area. This is where this generated a population in itself. So there's a lot to see, a lot to detect. Wow. And let's get into it,
Let's
mate.
get into it, buddy.
Thumbs up, fella.
Thumbs up.
We're working along an early part of the mine, and it's all smaller shafts, and it's not when the mine became commercial. It would have been when they were prospecting it and setting it up, before they formed a syndicate and turned into a larger mine. And this dump of rubbish stone here is not particularly attractive, but Ant's got a signal in it all the same. So obviously not gold. We're hoping that it's a relic. We're hoping it's non-ferrous enough to be a relic, or something of interest. There's plenty of signals around. We've been pick and choosing. Haven't really got onto the heaps that would catch your eye. You know, where they have been tracking the reef and testing the reefs. So there's a lot of sandstone. There's a lot of steel. I think that one's turned into steel too, isn't it, mate? Yeah. So we'll be interested to see what it is, but
look at the ground.
Yeah, but you'd rather see in this sort of situation broken quartz coming up. You can see bits of sandstone. There's a lot happening in here. It's like 6 different times of mining going on. Below us is the gully that they've worked up. Once they've found all the gold, what would have happened is they'd be working in the gully, and then they would have found coarse gold that wasn't very worn. They knew they were close to the reef. They came up, sunk on the reef, and it's got the signal out of the hole, or getting the signal out of the hole. Started testing the reef, and then decided there was enough in it to have a small mine, and then they've started to do well, and it's turned into a larger commercial mine By commercial mine, they would have sold shares in it. And lots of these bigger mines work 3 shifts, 3 8-hour shifts, so they work continuously.
Jeez.
Yeah, I know, it's a big thing. And this particular one went for nearly 50 years.
Just a big chunk of steel.
Just a big chunk of steel. Who knows, from the corner of their bucket or something like that, or who knows what it is. You can see sort of reinforcement alongside of it. It's nothing, but when we first heard it, we thought it might have been something worth filming.
Yes.
But it's a good indication of you're not always digging treasure. You dig a lot of rubbish, yeah.
That's for sure.
You kiss a lot of frogs before you find your prince. Righto, mate. Thumbs down.
Thumbs down. Glenn.
Mate, we still haven't worked our way into a likely gold area, but I've got a non-ferrous signal here.
Yep, that sounds very non-ferrousy.
So definitely non-ferrous. Hopefully it's not the mate to your bullet casing.
Yeah.
Shout out to Corey Lewis. Corey was up at Maryborough. He said he got a lot of lead and bullet casing. Good on you, Corey. Sooner or later you'll turn it into gold. If you're getting lead, sooner or later you'll turn it into gold.
That's it.
So you see what we've got here. Nice soft ground in here.
Mm.
Must have been in the dirt.
It must have, yeah. Yep. Just catching the tail end of it.
Don't know if you see it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
In the hand.
Doesn't feel any weight. I can't feel the edge of a coin or anything.
Okay, not yet.
Edge of a coin or anything like that. There he is. Bloody pull tab. Oh no. No. It's not.
Wedding band.
It's a little ring in that. There is a little ring.
Geezer.
I want it to turn yellow.
That'd be nice. Well, I mean, it's not a gold ring, but could be a poor man's ring, Glenn.
Do I make it gold? Do I turn it into...
You know, I don't know. Did they wear brass rings back in the day?
Oh, I don't know, mate.
Mm.
Maybe it's... The only thing about it is they're soft enough to be... See how it's bent out of shape?
Mm. Silver? Nah, it's not black enough to be silver.
I'll call it the first find for the day anyhow.
Yep. Still better than my bullet, I reckon. Jacked in the skyrocket.
Oh, yeah, mate.
Alright, onwards.
I might start wearing that.
Yeah, we'll call it a ring.
Well, I'm cool.
Good work, Glenn.
I'm calling it a ring.
I'll give you a thumbs up for that.
Yeah, at least a thumb sideways anyhow. Righto, mate.
Onwards. Oh, Glenn.
Mate, we've made our way through to where the mullock is, and it's a fairly substantial mullock, or one of the mullocks.
Huge.
And you see how it runs down. And when you look at them like this, and you see them run and get bigger and bigger, you know that they were bringing the mullock from that end. The shaft was at that end. And they were quite happy to dump onto a slope because they'd be bringing their stuff out like that. And the further they go out the slope, the more room they've got to drop the rubbish, drop their rubbish stone. So this is their tram line. This is their tram line coming out. They drop it over the edge. But when they first start off on the slope, something like that, they haven't got a lot of space. But when they get further out the slope, they don't have to keep extending their tram line. They've got a lot of waste stone they can drop down before they've got to extend it out that way. This is a really big mullock. This was a really big mine, and it went for a long time. And it's famous for in a bad way. It was famous for 2 people were killed here.
Oh, jeez.
Which there's been a death just recently in Garratt gold mine.
Mm.
2 men were drowned here. They were down in the workings. They broke through into old workings and into an old mine they didn't realise was there. It was full of water.
Jeez.
Water came into the tunnel they were in and drowned them. So that was in 1907. So this is part of the Mullock of that big mine that where men lived and worked and died. So the good part about the Mullock for us is we know that with all the, they went to the trouble of getting all the stone up. They were on payable gold. They were here for a long time. They're on payable gold. Just up above this Mullock is what they call a paddock, and the paddock is where they put a lot of stone before they crushed it.
Mm.
So, you know, they started to get on the gold stone. They couldn't flood the crusher. They couldn't keep working on all the stone in the crusher, so they have to hold the stone until the crusher was ready for it. And what they did here, and it's a good trick too, they had the crusher down below them. So they'd send the trolleys down to the crusher, and the bloke that was working on the crusher, he would hook the cable to the trolleys that he'd used. So the weight of the trolley coming down this way through around the pulley, it would go down the slope and pull the other trolley up. So they needed no power, they needed no steam or anything like that to keep circling the trolleys.
Yeah.
This one would come down, it'd have a brake on it, it'd trundle down the hill on the line.
And the empty one goes back up.
The empty one goes up. So a good trick.
Very inventive.
Well, mate, above us is where the gold is. I'm going to have a poke around on the Mullock.
Yep.
The Mullock's not that promising. A lot, you can see big bits of waste stone.
Mm.
I did see some nice little bits of quartz over here. The sort of stone that they were on. Switch off, mate. Got to walk.
Is that a big specie, Glenn?
Well, mate, that's the sort of stone we're looking for, and that's obviously it's pretty barren, but that could easily have a little bit of gold.
Yep.
You can see this, what's almost the start of an indicator slate coming into it. That's the sort of big rough reef that they'd be throwing out.
Mm.
They'd be watching all the time to see if the stone turned. But we're looking to get in with that sort of stone. And that's a lot bigger bit of quartz than I thought it was.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we want to get on that sort of stone. And
Yep.
look, that's quite nice inside.
Yeah.
I didn't put that there, but there's a little tiny bird's nest. That bird that built that goes a lot of trouble, doesn't he? He makes that out little bits of stringy bark and that. Makes a lovely little nest. Be nice and warm in there in the winter. Righto, mate. We've got to find a bit of gold.
Yep. I just found a
first
go on,
button.
mate. This popped out just before.
You keep talking about that for 2 seconds.
Yep. It's a old miner's button. Had it on for a signal, but Glenn was a bit too far away to film, but yeah, that just popped out. So we've got a ring and a button so far.
And I wanted to show you this because I wanted to tell you a story.
Glenn's got another find. Oh,
This is a
beautiful.
leg bone of a wallaby. Kangaroo leg bone is about that long. One time I was out in the bush, I picked up a big, long, an extremely long kangaroo leg bone. Been dried in the sun, had a sort of natural edge to it like that. So I put it in my car and then had it in the car for ages. And then one night, my mother rang me up and she said, Dad's been yelling at some young blokes who are out the front. It's about 1 in the bloody morning, if you don't mind. I'm in bed with Trace. Would you come down and get rid of him? Yes, no. So I get out of bed, pull my undies on, run out the car because I was panicking because my father can be a bit fiery like me. I thought if he's punching on with these blokes. So I get down there. They're about 300 yards away from the house. I pulled up and I said, well, you blokes giving my father a hard time. And they said, he was bloody yelling at us, blah, blah, blah. 3 blokes in their 20s. So I said, fair enough. So I said, get going. Just about to drive away, one bloke said, what could you do about it anyhow? And it was at the stage when Tracy was very sick. Tracy had cancer. So I jumped out of the car, and as I was getting out of the car, I only had my undies on, which turned out to be inside out. And I looked around on the floor, because there's 3 young blokes in their 20s, and I'm nearly 50 at this stage. Looked for something to hit them with, and all I could find
Kangaroo
was a big
stick.
kangaroo bone like this. So I fly out of the car, undies on inside out, covered in hair, run across with them going, and when you get stirred up, you know.
Oh,
I
Jesus.
gave one bloke a whack there on the knee.
Copped it.
He was hard as I could on the knee. He went down, the other two took off, and the other bloke ran away like this. So I went home and didn't want to upset Tracy. Tracy said, how'd you go? And I said, yeah, they went. So about 2 days later, my daughter came home from school and she said, oh, everybody's talking about you at school. I said, how's that? She said, you run after 3 blokes in the nude with a big long piece of wood. I said, yeah, we're close. The story's close. So, yeah, so I had a big kangaroo leg bone. I was very taken by it. I didn't think in the future I'll be chasing young men around.
Never know when a kangaroo bone's going to come in handy.
So that's part of the life and times of Glenn.
Oh, I love it.
Right, mate.
All right,
Keep going.
let's go find some gold.
What's the situation, mate?
Well, welcome back to the Detectors, and we've come across what looks to be the reef here. It's solid as anything, and it keeps going down.
Yeah, and
through
reefs
this
reefs
mound.
run generally north and south, which that's roughly north and south.
Yep.
So we've got 2 choices. We can stay here and you can dig it out for the next 5 or 6 hours, or we can go back up to where we know they found gold and try and pluck a bit of specimen there.
Well, I think we'll go with option 2.
Whew, that was really when you thought
I had
about
to think about it for a while.
Don't tell me 5 or 6 hours digging it out. Yeah, so that's part of a reef that that'd be a leader off the main reef probably. But yeah, the fact that they haven't worked it makes me think that we won't bother working it, mate. But
All right.
that'll be forever known as the Maryvale Reef.
Well, we're back at the car. These are our little finds for this area. Haven't done too bad. Got a bit to show for ourselves.
Yeah.
Couple little buttons, little sluice box nail.
Little hand,
That's a handmade nail. Ring.
Gold ring.
Happy days. That's shining like anything,
That's
isn't it?
shine like gold in the sun.
22 karat gold.
Right, so there's our relic off so far. Glenn.
You're
Well,
winning on the
mate.
relics today, Glenn. You're killing it.
We're going to go to where Anthony found his first bit of gold last time we were out.
Let's do it.
Have a quick go there, have our smoko,
Yep.
and move on again. 2 thumbs up, mate. Been further for less.
That's it, buddy.
Mate, I heard a noise over here. I said I'd
Yes.
come over and film you and tell me what happened.
Well, this is the noise. So non-ferrous signal. And I literally just did a first scrape. And I saw it straight away. Look at it. It's just on the surface there. Little thimble.
Little thimble. Good nick too.
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah, generally they're bloody crushed more than that.
Yeah, that's the best looking nick I've found.
Yeah,
so
it
pretty
is,
happy
yeah.
with that.
Yeah. Ooh,
Not too squashed.
pretty well jumps your head in a Relic challenge, doesn't it?
I would say so. Even Stevens now.
Yeah. Oh,
Happy
that's good.
days. 2 thumbs up.
Rightio, by the end of the day, if we hang a bit of gold on it,
Yeah. Nice little bit on top.
we're
That's
back.
nice.
I know I told you where we're going, but we're back where Anne got the little bit of gold, and we got the
And your
gold
weights,
weights.
yeah. Very nice.
So we've only cut in here for half an hour or so just to sort of boost ourselves up and try and find something, which
That's it.
Anne's got off to a flyer.
Yep.
Just
You got
to,
a bit too. didn't
well,
you?
just trying to draw attention away from you a little bit.
That'll be right.
One time Anne dug a glass stopper, and it was the same as that, except it was in complete condition.
Yeah.
So I just picked that up as I heard Ant call out. But a lot of stuff here, so we could easily find something else before we take off.
Yep. Let's keep
Right.
looking.
Thumbs up, I reckon, mate. 2 thumbs
buddy.
up. Good work.
Glenn.
This is why we like the double D coils in this situation, mate. That's obviously not,
It's rubbish.
that's just rubbish, yeah. But up,
But that is a non-ferrous signal.
that's a non-ferrous signal. So the way we got the detector set, that would discriminate, turned
Turned
right
up. Yep. Iron reject up.
That one's non-ferrous.
Non-ferrous,
That one
worth
could be
digging.
a treasure. This
That
one's
one
steel.
rubbish. Blanking
Makes
out
it straight away.
completely.
So that allows us, when we're in around the hut, to poke around, and also helps you. I know people don't like mentioning discrimination with gold. Lots of times I've been around mullocks, and lots of times I've been around huts, and I plucked a little bit of gold out
Mm.
in a heap of rubbish.
Yep.
So don't be frightened of changing your coils.
Mike, as long as it doesn't get confused with that rubbish signal
Yeah,
now.
oh, yeah, that was a good point. I wish I'd meant. Oh, there it is.
Oh. What's that, a handle?
Little handle off box of treasure that's just up there.
Yeah. Our box of sovereigns are in there. Cool. Nice little relic.
Yeah, nice little relic. Not what I was hoping for, but
No,
you can go on my heap
that's it.
when we're having our relic off.
You're getting closer to me, Ben. Well done, mate.
Interestingly, last week when I was on that side of that area over there, I got the gold weights, and Ant was in here, and he got a bit of gold and a few relics. And we got in here, and we both went. We both went to the other bloke's spot. We both wanted to have a go in the other bloke's area.
That's it.
Right, mate.
Good job.
Thumbs up.
Give you a thumbs up for that.
Yeah, I'm going a thumbs up.
Yep.
It's a nice little brass handle.
Well done.
As distinct from my gold ring.
Another non-ferrous target here. Just this little hole here.
Not a bad sound one either.
Yeah.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, I'm keen on it too.
Glenn over to film it, so we'll just see what's around. I reckon it's just in that.
When we walked out of here last week, and the same as when we walk out of here today, there'll still be plenty of targets left and plenty of opportunity to get stuff, but we just like to nail a little bit of stuff and then go on the gold. We're on the gold while we're in here as well, because this is where Ant got a bit of gold last week. But it's nice to have the safety net of a few relics just to hold us.
That's it.
A person called Gabby wrote quite a good thing, and I'm assuming she, but if it's he, if you're 5'4" and in
I thought it was a she.
yeah, well, just Gabby, you'd assume, but it shouldn't. Just that some of her language was pretty, or not language, but her speech was pretty strident. She was almost like a young Peter Lawler. She was bloody wanting to have a Eureka uprising again.
Yeah.
Anyhow, she pointed out quite rightly that the fact that the pines have been ripped so many times and with those to be planted,
That's right.
that nothing's in situ, nothing's where it was left. So there's no problem with the heritage factor. Gabby wrote quite a good long comment. It was almost like a call to arms.
Yep.
So yeah, we'll follow you, Gabby. You start making the Eureka flag. And if you're 6'4" and your name is Gabriel or something like that, and you're a bloke, well, yeah, you wrote a good article as well, mate. Well done. What can you see there, fella?
Nothing so far.
I really like Eureka. I've read about Eureka a lot, and I used to have the Eureka flag on my belt buckle.
Did you?
Yeah, trouble is trade unions stole it a little bit as well, which diminished it a bit. You know, when you wear it, people would ask you whether it was trade union or...
Yeah, true. I did notice that. I have noticed that.
Not on purpose, but I wore it to court one day, and when I was standing up, I thought, geez, they'll ask why I've got this, whether it was some sort of statement, but the judge didn't bother.
I'm not going to ask why you're in court, Glenn.
No, we won't, but something I'm very proud of, Ant, there was a female judge.
Here we go.
And she asked what my marital status was.
I think there's a button in there, Glenn.
Good work, mate.
Can you see it?
No, I was just getting a bit closer.
See in there?
Oh, yeah,
Crack it open.
Yep.
Oh, no. It's a coin.
Oh, you little ball terror.
It's a coin.
Yeah, it's a
That's
coin.
a silver coin.
That's amazing, because every time we find
Wow.
a button, you say, I think it's a coin. Don't you? Every time. And
Jesus,
then...
I think it's actually it's either... I think it's a Vicky. It is. It's an English...
Drop and scissors by the
Ribbons,
size of
yeah.
it. Perfect.
It's got a... Yeah, it's a Vicky.
God, you're killing me on the relics. Killing me.
Now I'm bloody winning.
Good work, mate.
Happy days.
That's bloody great.
Yep.
Any date? Can you see any date?
I will be able to get a day out of
Yeah,
it.
perfect.
I'm just gonna switch this off.
Yep. Oh, that's a great find.
Mmm. Date is 1861, Glenn.
Perfect, mate.
1861.
Perfect.
And it's cleaning up nice, just with a little bit of spit shine. Look at that.
So 10 years into the gold rush, 1851 Australian gold rush started. So 10 years in.
Yep.
And it's getting a few good relics today.
Happy days.
If we can whack a bit of gold with it at the end of the day, we'll have had a bloody huge day.
Yeah.
Ken Brown from out of town, he's commented and he said
Cheers,
he was amazed how
many things we've
yeah,
found.
many things were found. Yeah, so thanks, Ken. We bloody
do appreciate it.
blessed.
Yeah.
Andy's
We
bloody
love it.
killing it today.
Yeah.
I was back probably 50 pine loops away, and I heard the signal, and I yelled out, "Ant, you want me to come and film it?" And I'm glad I did, because it's nice to see him coming out of the ground.
That's
Good
it.
work, mate. Two
Awesome.
thumbs up.
Happy days.
Good
Happy
work.
Days. Thought it was a button.
Yeah, I know. And as I said, I reckon if you went through our film, you'd see 10 times where you say, "Oh, I think it's a coin."
Yeah.
Oh no, it's a button.
Bloody button. But
Good
yeah,
work, mate.
It's a nice surprise. Glenn.
Righto, mate. And I was just listening to Ant dig a signal, and in a desperate attempt to draw attention to himself, he showed me this little brass circle
Ring.
ring. This little
Children's ring.
So it's got little tiny prickles on the back of that. So you take that, mate. But here I've got a good signal,
Yep. It's another non-ferrous signal.
and it's pretty close to surface because
You're trying to upstage me with a gold coin, Glenn.
I think just by listening to the signal, like I'd say it's probably a
Silver
copper penny, 1859.
Oh, 1859.
Just listening.
Just listen to it. Jeez, he's got
when I
a
used to
keen
go-
ear, he does.
When I used to go bottle digging, you have a probe, you know, and you stick your probe into a lot of the shafts and that where the water was. So it was pretty soft, and you probe down, and you could tell the difference between glass and stone. And
Yeah.
blokes that use a probe a lot know that's not bullshit. But I used to tell people that if I stuck it through a newspaper, I could tell the date on the newspaper by Righto. So there's my penny.
Yep.
Just
1859.
there, 1859 copper penny. It was a
Halfpenny?
bit close, mate. The bloke that just leant forward and said, "Geez, you nearly put the pick through through it."
Yeah, you're getting excited with that pick, Glenn.
you weren't that far off. It was a bit too close. Rightio, mate. Any pennies bobbing up?
Not yet. I think it's a little bit deeper, Glenn.
Oh, there he is.
You can see it? What is
I
that?
know. Oh,
No?
yeah.
Yeah?
That's-
No, yeah.
That's
no?
leather or something
Ooh. Oh.
on brass. See there?
Yep. All right. We'll dig around him.
So there's not my.
Not 1859
But
penny. Could be something better.
yeah, mate.
That could be
Geez,
the...
I'm either terrible accurate or terrible lucky because I bloody nearly put that on top of it.
Oh, jeez, Glenn. Go a bit more to the side, please. Could be a treasure chest.
Well, my old mate bloody got that thing what we just thought might have been a hooker pipe, so maybe something for smoking, mate.
Yeah. Careful. Careful, you're right on top of it. Right there, yep.
Yeah.
That could be the actual pipe.
That's sort of leather, and that's
Keep digging down either side of it.
It's in pretty solid.
Just not
Watch
too
it.
close. Yeah, I'm getting back.
I do that ground's hard.
Mm-hmm.
So, while you're at home, what would be a leather-coated pipe? Like what? Any ideas? There it is.
Maybe it is the pipe, Glenn, from the hooker pipe.
Yeah. I have no idea what that was or is.
It's got to be from the hooker pipe, surely.
It's one of those.
Gotta be.
So anyone that knows what that is, that's our Relic challenge. This week's Relic challenge.
Hook a pipe. That's the pipe, Glenn. That's the other end. Gotta be.
If you know what that is.
I know what it is. That's awesome.
So keep commenting. So it's that. It's a piece of pipe. It's insulated with what looks to be leather, doesn't it, mate?
Yeah. Very, very obviously old leather. That's a pretty cool find, Glenn.
It's not my penny, but it. No, Relic challenge is stiff today.
It is, isn't it?
I'm
You're crawling back.
Oh,
You're
well,
crawling.
I'm still leading, but if someone says yes, that's such and such.
All right, onwards then.
All right,
That's
mate, keep
thumbs up.
going.
Good man. Well done.
Yeah.
Glenn.
Mate, we're moving off to another spot, and also to have a well-earned day's feed.
Yes, definitely.
I dug this.
A little kind of surprise here.
Yeah, I can see it
A
there.
little bit of metal popping out.
Yeah, like a brass nail or something like that. But I just want to unwrap him on camera in case it turns out to be that thing that wings me, the Relic challenge.
Yes, okay.
This is one of those. Yeah, well, that was a bit of
Anticlimax.
yeah. Well,
I would say that's a bit of brass, Glenn.
yes, mate. Or when you look at it like that, though, I don't know. Can you get it?
Yeah.
Doesn't that look like a
Bit of
brass
brass?
fish mouth?
Brass
mate.
fish mouth.
Yeah, well, they're not all bloody sovereigns.
Yeah.
All right.
When we say we never see snakes here, can you spot it? Red belly black snake on the side of the road. Hope he doesn't go in front of the car. There he is, he's going back. Yep, on the move. There we go. Watch out, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, we're going to be worried. Where are we, Glenn?
Mate, we stand in a little shallow dam, and this is the dam bank there. And it's been filled, not by catchment, it's been filled by a water rate. So, big, long, shallow dam, right on the edge. And you can see up here where they let the water out, where they use the water. So here, that's where they control the water. And across here, this is another race that's coming off the race that we were talking about. So the reason they've got the dam and the reason they've got the race is they've been buying water for night time and getting it cheaper, but they've also needed the backup race when they've been working in the day. So they've been working down that slope, and we know they're only down that slope because look how quickly the race falls away.
Yeah.
So they've used the water to work the slope above the creek. And this is where they were steadying the water. They didn't want the water to tear down there when they weren't using it. So they had a little thing like a sluice gate here, right there. This is a pool of water, and they've got a man on this, and he's controlling it to let the water go down where they're working below. Now up there, you can see down through the hills, there's a really nice little creek. It's a winter creek, but when it's going in the winter time, it's really, really strong. So they were working above the creek. They weren't working in the creek. They were working on the slope that leads from the creek. So here, that's where the water went, down that way. That's where the creek is. So it's a pretty intensive way of getting your gold, isn't it? Like you've dug a dam, you've dug the races, and we just say, oh, a little simple race. You dig the bloody thing and see. Ant and I were trying to dig that signal out from underneath the stump. It could have been a gold sovereign, and after a while we should know that'll do if we've had enough. Yeah. So pick and shovel and all this is a big thing. Turn your camera off, mate. I want to show you where they lived when they were digging.
So, where are you?
Righto, mate. Just behind you is the dam, and this is where the blokes lived when they were building all the water races and getting set up. And you'd walk past this a dozen times and wouldn't notice it, But it's definitely a hut site. These big stones have been carved here.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the shape of where the fire stones have been here. It's ran that way. We haven't got detectors. We haven't walked down here to detect. We've only come down here because I want to show you the dam and show you the water race and talk about the water above the creek. So here's a spot you could detect and get something. It's non-gold bearing ground where the hut is, but only 200 metres away you're on gold bearing ground. So you get down there and have a detect, you walk back up here, your toes are dragging, you find the hut, and then you dig yourself a couple of signals. Righto, mate, we're going to go and have smoko, but I wanted to show you the hut site.
Yep.
Because I'm always impressed by them, and
Yeah,
when we build ours, I'll be impressed by them.
Yeah, 100%.
Righto, mate.
Smoko.
Smoko.
Let's eat. Smoko. Got the JACKERY on. Toasties are cooking. Almost ready. Got a bit of show and tell. We thought we'd get our finds out for the day and show you what we've got so far. Glenn, you want to talk us through it?
Yeah, mate. So this is where we're at. Ant was just looking at this, and he was saying that on the outside there that I said was leather, he thinks it might be wood. That might, which would carry a lot of weight towards the hooker pipe area.
There, you can kind of see.
Wood. And you can see sort of here, it's got a sort of almost.
Yeah, it's definitely wood.
So.
And then a pipe in the middle.
So that's interesting, isn't it?
Very interesting piece of.
Because that's where Ant found the end piece, what we believe to be the end piece of the hooker that had the rubber inside it. So that meant you're holding this, the rubber comes up like that, and then the mouthpiece is up here. So
correct, Amondo.
So Ant wants to call that a hooker pipe, and I'm not going to disagree with him. Now, Ant's had a bloody morning out on the relics. Thimble in good nick.
Yeah.
And it's interesting how often you dig thimbles and how important they must have been. You know, they were away from civilization. They couldn't just say, "I'll whip down to Kmart and get another pair of pants."
Yeah.
They had to mend things. So many of them, and these are men we're talking about, many of them carried the thimbles with them and the sewing kit. And no bloody wonder the amount of buttons they lost. There's
exactly.
Button, my button, Ant's bloody great silver thrubbance. The little round thing which we don't know what is. Mine clearly handle up a treasure chest. Gold ring. Button. Fish lips pipe.
Fish lips pipe.
Remnants of a glass stopper. So we've had a good morning.
Bloody good morning, Glenn.
And we love being in the bush, and it's one of the parts about metal detecting that you can get out in the bush.
That's it.
We're helped along by an anonymous benefactor who gave us this bag of lollies as well.
Sustagen.
And
thanks,
so I'd love lollies. I'm addicted to lollies. I've eaten half of them already. Now, the lady that gave us the lollies didn't want us to mention that she'd given us the lollies because she'd also given us 2 of these tin cups.
Yes.
So what we're going to do, we're going to have a giveaway. So if you're admiring these cups, we've got 2 to give away. It's proposed giveaway. It's nothing to do with this video. We haven't worked it out yet.
In the future, not too distant future, we'll have another giveaway.
Future, we'll make a video. And we'll talk about this, and you'll be able to have 2 of these for yourself, which is great.
Yeah, we'll have 2 winners, 1 each.
1 each.
1 cup each.
1 each. No, it's got to go 2 together.
Oh, okay.
Well, most people go with a mate or whatever. So.
All right.
Yeah, no, it'll be the 2 cups. You'll be paying for the 2 cups.
All right, Glenn, you're going to have to talk
No,
faster because toast is ready. Quick, wrap it up.
Righto.
Quick.
3 people.
Oh, jeez, 3 people.
Tom Cooper, a young local bloke I met out the bush. Good on you, Tom. I was pleased to talk to you, and I'm pleased to mention you and say how nice it was, your comments to us. Tom Shaw, who
Does
gave
Tom
me,
Cooper comment on the videos?
He commented on my Instagram. He said your videos are shit, but my Instagram's fantastic.
Apparently, I don't recall the name, Tommy.
So good on you, Tom. Tom Shaw gave me a coil from a Double D.
No, Tom Shaw's a legend.
He is indeed. Tom Shaw, the Sure Thing.
Yep, Sure
We're
Thing.
going to go over to one of his areas, stamping ground.
Yes, we'll be catching up with him next weekend, hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah. He's been getting gold that's coated in black stuff.
Yeah.
He's going to show us that, show us how he gets the black off it. And he may even, if we find any, smelt it down and make a little gold button for us, which would be a good video.
Yeah, that'd be great.
The other person I wanted to mention, and this is the reason I didn't mention it before, and as we drove in, we saw a snake on the road and Ant filmed it.
Did.
And I remembered Karen Mason saying that if she saw a snake, she'd scream and run the other way. So
Much to.
you had plenty of company because
We were
that's
doing
exactly what Anthony did.
Yes.
No, we
I hate
filmed it out of
snakes.
the car. You know, we were
Yeah.
quite safe in the car, but
Good.
yeah.
good
So the
from
snakes
far.
are out and about.
That time of year.
Yeah, I mean, and it's no good saying be careful or whatever. My mother, I'll be going somewhere, and my mother will say, "Now be careful." As if if she hadn't said be careful, I would have driven driven the car off the side of the road. But anyhow, so
All right,
you're out and
Glenn.
about. That's it. That's plate Anthony's going to have.
Good
his
one.
lunch
I was
off.
just about to. Glenn's just. Oh gosh, Glenn, you're
Right,
a funny
right.
man. All right, let's eat.
Thumbs up, mate.
Cheers, buddy. All right, we're heading back down, back into the diggings, and we've got this little water race here that you can see. Well, you probably can't see it too well in the video, but it is going down this hill quite sharply. And as Glenn pointed out, if you've got a water race heading down the hill, you know that's the way to the diggings.
So you can follow them down.
Follow it down.
When you see them, with no regard to fall, you know they're going from point A to point B. They're not going to go 5 mile.
Yep,
He's just going down to where they need the water to wash for gold.
that's it.
So
We're
we
on
need
the
to
way
do gold,
down.
mate.
Yep,
We'll follow it down.
let's do it. Oh, Glenn, what can you tell us?
And this is one of my favourite trees. This is a black wattle, and when you're out in the bush, and don't get it confused with a blackwood. Blackwood has leaves on a black wattle, has this more of a sort of a frond type thing on it. That's going to turn into seed pods. You can eat the seeds when they crush them and eat the seeds. But this sap is what interests us. That's wattle sap. That's wattle sap. There's a nice little bit here. Now you can eat this,
Oh,
and you're lost out in the bush. You can get that off there
bit of bush tucker.
and eat it. I'll knock that off with my digger.
Mm-hmm.
And you get moisture and sustenance out of it. It's not the greatest tasting thing in the world, but
Oh.
it'll,
Is
it'll
Is
get
it
it.
sweet?
It's not particularly sweet. It's a little bit bland.
Oh.
But you can. The Aborigines used to put it in like that in water and put a little bit of sweetness from a flower in it to make it sort of an infusion.
Okay.
When I was a kid walking home from school, we used to eat them simply because we didn't have lollies, so we used to eat these. But if you're stuck out the bush, you can live off that.
Wow.
You can eat that. You can get a bit of moisture and a little bit of food out of it. I was talking about when I was a kid at school. When I was a kid, and you could go into a milk bar, you could get 2 candy bars, a drink, and a bag of lollies, and only have 20 cents in your pocket. But they've got cameras now, so it's a lot harder. Rightio. So,
Ben's getting right into it.
right, so stick to your teeth,
Oh,
and it's not,
just like toffee.
well, it's, as I said, it's a bit bland.
Oh, I'm lucky I got a full belly.
Hey, mate. What's that? Have a chew on it anyhow. They won't hurt you because I used to eat it when I was a kid and I'm still... So, black wattles, they're a terrific tree. I could tell you 20 good things about them. I'm only going to talk about the wattle in them today, the sap in them today. Did you throw yours away?
I had a little bit of it, Glenn, but I'm not eating the whole thing. I'm not that hungry.
No. Well, when you were lost in the bush...
If I was lost in the bush, I would have a bit of. I had
you-
2 toasties and a...
If you hadn't had 2 toasties bloody half an hour ago, you'd be nollying this down.
Mm-hmm. I would be.
So, black wattle sap.
Black water sap.
Well, mate.
There you go. A bit of dessert.
And I'll tell you, another thing you can do with it, and the Aborigines used to do this too. They used to make a gum out of it. They'd get a bit out, then they'd get a bit of ash and mix up with it, and then they could patch a hole in their water carriage.
Oh, really?
So if
It's
you're
kind
out
of
in
like
the bush,
super glue.
yeah, well, so if you're out the bush, you can get a bit of dirt, get a bit of wattle, fix the hole in your radiator and get yourself home.
There you go.
There's 20 good things about the wattle. When we're out the bush having our survival camp, mate, I'll tell you all of them.
Awesome.
Black
Good
wattle.
one. Cheers,
Later,
Dan.
mate.
Thanks, mate.
Haven't found any gold yet. I'm going to eat all that. It's pretty beautiful. It's the end of the day for Ant and I. We've cut it back early. Ant's got to go to a 40th birthday party. But we weren't bloody disappointed because we were starting to struggle.
Yeah, it's a hot
We didn't
day.
find any gold. We've shown you our relics.
Yep.
So we had a pretty good day. We wanted to top it off with a bit of gold, but we couldn't do it. So, que sera, whatever will be, will be. Now, in the winter time, I'm going to build a hut out the bush. And people will be divided on this, but what I'd like to have is the hut out the bush in a really isolated spot. Then when it's snowing or freezing cold and the rain's driving sideways, you go out, you get in your hut, you've got a little wood heater, light up your wood heater with the kindling that you've put in there for the last time you were out.
That's it.
Go for a bit of a wander down the creek, use the dish, come back up, you've got the kettle on the stove, you have a cup of tea, and just sit in and enjoy how cold it is.
Yep. Sounds
So,
good.
I've begged, borrowed and stolen bits of timber to make the frame, and then I was talking to a bloke the other day, and see all this timber here? He said open slather, so that's been treated pine, not treated pine, but pine that's been dried in the kiln.
Beautiful.
So I'm thinking, my frame, there's your length of your walls, like that.
Yep.
So whatever that is. 2, 3, 4. So they're 4 foot long. So 8 foot that way. Possibly the same the other way.
Yep.
Little ones. I've got a really good doorway that I've knocked off, but I found. A little doorway that I found. So
We got a roof as well.
I've already got my roof.
Yep.
So the doorway here, those little ones either side, come
Beautiful.
in your door, they're in your hut, tin roof, little veranda, because nothing better than it was pouring rain and you were sitting here in your little veranda.
That's it.
I reckon it'd be great. So that's the plan. I've got a perfect spot for it.
Yep.
Comes off a gravel road. You go up a stony hill, so you're not going to get stuck. And there's a big drop off to where I'm going to build the hut,
Isolated.
and there's another drop off to the creek.
Creek.
There's 2 sort of little ridges that come out sideways, so it's hard to be seen. The window I've got for it is sunken in, so when the window's in the wall, even no matter how high the sun comes in the north and rises, it doesn't reflect the sun. So when you're walking through the bush, you're going to, because sometimes when you're going through the bush, you'll see someone's car parked, simply because you'll see the
window.
So
and the sun reflection.
So the plan is to get out there, be really isolated, and sit in the hut and contemplate life. So
Beautiful.
this is
Just
what
got to build it now.
this is what, So Ant and I will be down here in a week or 2 with my trailer,
Collecting the wood.
load up a big heap of this.
Yep.
And then I'm going to build it in sections in the shed, in my shed, and that's why I'm using pine, because it's lightweight. You know, hardwood is a lot heavier.
Oh yeah.
And then cut it out, put it together in the bush, and live in it.
Beautiful.
So, end of the day, Ant,
Sounds good, buddy.
that's the plan. So when they say, who built that bloody hut out bush? Oh, old man Conroy built that. And he built life. So yeah, one day you'll come out and I'll be dead in the chair in the hut. That's my dream.
Oh, Glenn.
That's my dream.
Well, I can't wait to see this hut.
Well, that's not to
It's gonna
say
be
you will see it, mate, but
I'll find it.
right.
All right. See you next time, mate.
So if you do comment, are you for or against an isolated bush hut?
Oh,
Like
surely got to be for it.
a lot of people will say, I can't see the attraction of being out there by yourself and sitting in the cold, which it won't be cold because you're going to have a little wood heater in
That's
there.
right.
And as I said, it'll be begged, borrowed and stole. I'm going to scrounge everything to make it. I'm not going to buy anything barring the nails. Not too much in the big and borrowed either, mainly on the stole part of it. Right, thumbs up, mate.
All right. See you next time, buddy.